Hello, folks. Welcome to the show. I'm going to apologize in advance for coughing. Monday night is basketball night at the local church, and I worked up quite a sweat, which is good, and I don't have that much stamina, so I'm coughing quite a bit as it happens. It's all good. I'm not sick or anything. It's just getting exercise, losing some weight. I hit a three in a game winner today, which was awesome. I'm usually a down low guy who gets all the fouls and rebounds you want, but maybe 2 points on the night. But today was five. Yeah, five. Awesome. Anyways, let's talk about the rookies. Happy to talk about myself, but we're talking about rookies today. My intention was to do a video looking at the Calder rankings, but it feels like the Calder's uh, already down to one person. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we can look at a few more rookies, and then a few more turned into a lot of rookies, and I had to stop myself at one point and just say we're not going to look at all the rookies, just half of the rookies. So I included any rookie that's having a notable season. I sorted them by their position, and then who's doing best versus not bad. None of these guys are doing bad. None of these guys are having a bad rookie season. Just well, maybe there's a few, but I'll get to them. Um, you get what I mean. Just a little legend here. You got your names, teams. The draft is which team drafted them, what overall, and then what year. Size, that's in feet and inches, and then pounds. Games played, goals, assists, points, penalty minutes, pretty standard. Average time on ice, average power play time on ice, average short-handed time on ice. This is your Fenwick 4 percentage, and your relative Fenwick 4, followed by hits, blocks, and takeaways. And then I'll get to the goalie stuff when we get to them. So let's start from the top, and the top is, no surprise, Connor Bedard. He's living up to expectations. He's an incredible player. I'm actually more impressed with his ability to handle himself off the ice, but because we already knew what was getting into. I'm not going to say like I already knew Bedard was going to be great. That's not like a hot take or anything. And I'm glad he's being his own player. I wouldn't like it if I was him to always say, "Are you the next McDavid, the next Crosby?" No, I'm Connor Bedard. I'm not McDavid. I'm not Crosby. I'm Bedard. So I don't like that. But he is I was going to say generational talent, but feels like generational talent comes around every 7 years. So maybe we need to find a new word. But you get what I mean. He's been everything Chicago can hope for, and he's already got some things going for him that a lot of rookies don't have already. So enough has been said about his scoring. Maybe you can complain about a rookie not being a point per game, which those are pretty high standards. But he is on a Chicago Blackhawks team that really doesn't have much helping him. He has a massive amount of power play time. It's the most amount of power play time per game on this whole list, besides one defenseman. You can see him at the bottom, but we'll get to him. He'll get a few shifts on shorthanded every couple weeks or so. His analytics are bad but forgivable considering his team. Not too physical, but he does have 38 takeaways, which is the most of rookies, at least the most of rookies I put on here. If there's a rookie that has more than 38 takeaways, then he has like 5 points because I didn't look at him. So, but very good. I think he'll be good defensively. He'll develop to be a good defensive player too. He's very smart and very talented. He'll be there. The next best rookie, you can argue between second and third. They're both Columbus Blue Jackets, but I decided to hand it to Voronkov. He's a massive, towering guy, 6'5", 240 pounds. He was drafted in the middle rounds in 2019. 30 points in 54 games. 16 of those were goals. He's also racked up 48 penalty minutes, and he's been a huge part of one of Columbus's few success stories, which is that young Russian line. Doesn't get a ton of minutes. Voronkov gets 13 minutes a game, 2 of which are on the power play. But his analytics are good, and he's been a really good hitter and a decent blocker for a forward, for a winger even. Not many takeaways, but that's because he's more focused on hitting the guy than the puck, which has its uh, benefits and takeaways. The other Columbus rookie here, though there's a third one, I think a fourth one. I don't remember if I included Tarasov. We'll get there when we get there, as I keep saying. The other one is Fantilli. He was expected to go second overall, as I'm sure you might remember, but he went third overall to Columbus in the last draft. Um, he's Columbus is happy to have him, and they would have been happy to have Leo Carlson. But for now, we're going to focus on Fantilli, not Carlson. Fantilli is a taller guy, nearly 200 pounds and 6'2", 27 points in 49 games. Analytics aren't too great, but he's hitting well, and he's got some takeaways there too. I don't think there really should be any like, wow, he was such a great talent. He should have 30 points right now. He's a young kid on a struggling Columbus team. He'll be fine. This is, we thought he'd go back to college and not come to the NHL immediately. So whatever he can do is good on him. As long as he doesn't get career-ending injury, great. He's been good. Next is Connor Zary, drafted a few years ago in 2020, near the end of the first round. Decently sized and has been a bright spot on Calgary team and a good hint at the future. Nothing that stands out too much about his stats here, except for the fact that he has 29 points in 50 games. Next is Marco Rossi. Not many times we get to talk about Austrians, but he is an Austrian we get to talk about. He's a smaller Austrian at 5'9". He was drafted 9th overall in 2020. He's got 33 points in 62 games, and is, like Zary, is a sign of things to come in Minnesota. Minnesota needs to get as much as they can from their rookie contracts with the amount of dead cap they have, and we are going to talk about another Minnesota rookie who I think could challenge Bedard for the Calder and could upset Bedard, but he's the only one who has a chance at this point. Next rookie we could talk about is Tyson Forster. He's part of a Philly club that is well overperformed any expectations I think anybody had. I don't know what Tortorella's expectations were, but they don't matter because Philly is in a playoff spot by the deadline, and Forster has been a helpful point there. He's a decently sized guy at over 200 pounds. He's got 28 points in 57 games, 16 of which are goals. He plays about middle 6 minutes and has been a good hitter and blocker for the Philadelphia Flyers, while also having strong analytic numbers. The Philadelphia Flyers control 56% of the shots while he's on the ice. Even strength. Those are all even strength numbers. Power play and shorthanded would obviously skew that. Next, now we're getting to Leo Carlson. A few Anaheim fans could say, oh, we should have had Fantilli. And I think there'll be a lot of comparisons between Fantilli and Carlson because Fantilli was expected second and then Carlson, but went Carlson then Fantilli. But I really don't think it's needed unless one of these guys just becomes a bust, or one of these guys turns into a phenom and not just a great player. I don't think there's much point in comparing them. They're both young. They both have lots of time ahead of them, and they are different players. Fantilli plays a stronger game, even though they're similar in size. But Carlson's more of a finer things kind of player, we'll say. He's good with assists, he's smart, and he's good with takeaways. Whereas Fantilli is a very talented player who's good on the body as well. So they're different kinds of centers, and I think Columbus will be very happy with Fantilli, and Anaheim will be very happy with Carlson. So I say that I hope there's not going to be too much comparison or unfair comparison, but we know it's going to happen. So, talking about Leo Carlson alone and not just Fantilli, he's played 40 games, 23 points in those with 9 goals. There has been a point of talking about Leo Carlson's development. Anaheim did something interesting where, excuse me, I'm burping more than coughing. I didn't do a preemptive apology for that. Anyways, Leo Carlson would play every other game for Anaheim until the new year. And it's a very interesting way of giving a rookie time in the NHL while also developing in the AHL because you don't want to rush guys. And I think that system is a really interesting idea that I hope a lot of players or a lot of teams will try out. And I think it's worked for Leo Carlsson. Maybe he would have 50 points by now if he played every NHL game. Who knows? And maybe if he played every NHL game, he might have a career-ending injury or have 5 points in 50 games. Who knows? So, but I think he's been fine. He plays quite a lot of minutes for a lot of the rookies here at 18 minutes. A lot on the power play as well. His analytics are very good. He's got a relative Fenwick 4 percentage of 6.7, indicating Anaheim's ability to control the game is a lot better when Leo Carlsson is on the ice, which isn't something you often see from rookies. Carlsson also has 22 takeaways, but again, not too physical. He only has 16 blocks. I say only, that's not bad. It's lower compared to some of these other guys, and he has played 40 games compared to a lot of these other guys playing over 50 and a few over 60. Next, Logan Cooley. I was very excited by Arizona taking Logan Cooley, and I'm still very excited by that. I am a bit of an Arizona fan. That's more personal video and explanation, so I'm just going to leave it at I like the Coyotes, and I love Logan Cooley, and we're going to ignore their arena they're playing in for now. Logan Cooley isn't going to bulldoze anyone. He's at 5'10", 174 pounds, so I'm frankly impressed that he's got 41 hits in 61 games instead of like 10. He was third overall pick a year ago in the 2022 draft, and he's been pretty good. 29 points in 61 games. You can see a lot of talent in a lot of those points, and you know he's going to be a point per game player soon. He plays 15, almost 16 minutes a game. Over 2 of that is on the power play, and he'll have a few accidental shorthanded shifts. Arizona does not control the puck well while Logan Cooley is on the ice. They don't control the puck well by virtue of not being a playoff team, unfortunately, but we didn't really expect them to be anyways. But it's a little worse when Cooley's on, but again, he's a rookie. I'm not going to go out and say, he sucks defensively because he's a minus 1.7 on relative Fenwick 4. He's a rookie, and that's not a major downer. He's still almost a point every other game, and he's hitting more than I thought a 5'10", 174-pounder would do. Anyways, keeping it with Americans in Arizona, the Logan Cooley's not from Arizona. Matthew Knies is from Arizona. He's a bigger body, 6'2", 210 pounds. He's racked up 124 hits on the season. I believe that's the most of all rookies. It's the most of rookies on forwards. Let me just scroll down to the defenseman. Yeah, he's the only rookie here that I listed with over 100 hits so far. Maybe there's a guy with more hits. I didn't look at him. Matthew Knies. I remember a lot of Toronto fans saying he's going to be the next left winger for Matthews and Marner. I'm not going to make fun of Toronto fans because I think they were joking. I'm pretty sure they were joking, but you never know. So I hope they were joking. I assume they were, but that's not a diss on Matthew Knies. Again, he's a rookie. Wasn't always projected to be a first liner. He was drafted in the 3rd round by Toronto in 2021. He's got 26 points in 58 games this year. He plays middle 6 minutes. Not a lot of special teams. Toronto controls the puck all right while he's on there. His main takeaway is that 1, he's good at getting takeaways, and 2, he's really good at hitting. He's really good at using his body, and he's still able to work with his hands and contribute offensively. Next is Luke Evangelista, part of Nashville's winning more, part of Nashville's increased success above the expectations. He was drafted in the 2nd round by Nashville in 2020. He's 6 feet tall at 183 pounds. He's got 27 points in 60 games. Doesn't get a lot of minutes, but he does get some power play time. His bottom 6 lines do perform quite well while he's on the ice, controlling 54.1% of the shots. He's not too physical, but has reached the 30 takeaways mark. Lastly is Pavel Dorofeyev. You don't hear a lot about Vegas rookies because they usually trade them away, if they even draft a rookie, because they usually trade the pick away. It's a very aggressive strategy that will probably burn out on them, but so far so good. They are one of the best. Uh, they're already better than a lot of franchises in the league. Not over half, but per year maybe. Anyways, that's a different video that I can do. Let's talk about Pavel Dorofeyev, which was the intention. He's a taller Russian. He's got 14 games and 14 points in 29 games. Bottom 6 minutes, including the some secondary power play time. Good analytics and not too physical of a player. But it's good to see from Vegas's perspective a younger guy doing things with all the older guys they have. It's nice to have a young guy not only producing, but a young guy producing on a rookie contract. Now let's get to defensemen. And the one guy who I think could upset Bedard, and I think it'd be really fun to see this guy get a Calder Trophy, but I'm not going to get delusional. It's Brock Faber from Minnesota. He was drafted by the LA Kings. LA Kings are very good at getting young defensemen, but they seem to trade them. Sean Durzi in Arizona is another point, though he was drafted by Toronto, who also needs a defenseman. Anyways, Brock Faber, he was drafted in the second round by LA in 2020, and he has been a revelation for the Minnesota Wild. Nothing short of it. He has been incredible. Some analytic nerds might get a little mad if they don't understand the game because he doesn't have great analytics. We'll get to that. Let's start with the basic stats, where he's got 34 points in 62 games. Only 4 goals, but again, he's a defenseman. Whatever. He's decently sized at 200 pounds and 6'1". He's a good hitter, 51 hits in 62 games. Great blocker, 119 blocks. That leads everyone here. Yep, 119 blocks. He's the only one who's passed 100 blocks so far among rookies. Again, I haven't looked at guys who got like 3 points. Doesn't get a lot of takeaways, but most defensemen don't. So the most notable point here is when a rookie, especially a defenseman, comes into the league, it's very hard for them to develop. They'll usually play bottom pairing minutes, maybe some second pairing minutes. And if they're doing top line minutes, it's 22 minutes, 23 minutes, not 25 minutes. That's what Brock Faber is doing. Jared Spurgeon's injury has hurt Minnesota a lot. But Brock Faber has done an incredible job in mitigating the pain. And in all areas, part of his 25 minutes is that he spends over 5 minutes in special teams, 2.5 minutes on the power play, 3 minutes on the shorthanded. You have to be very good shorthanded to be given 3 minutes of shorthanded time a game, and he is quite good shorthanded. Physical player who can move the puck really well. The only knock on him is the analytics. When I made the analytics joke, that's not to say I don't like him. I include them because I like analytics, but I'm not going to complain that he's a negative 4.8 on the relative Fenwick 4 when he's playing 25 minutes, when he's blocking a ton and moving the puck very well, especially as a rookie. So I'm not going to sit here and say, look at these analytics. No, he's doing everything else right for his sake. Hopefully that improves where he's able to control the puck better, and it would help if his team was as good as they were last year. Still a good team, still a dangerous team, and Brock Faber has been part of that. He's also a local boy. He's from Minnesota, so that's always fun to see too. Next is another American defenseman. American defensemen are quite common on this list. It's Luke Hughes, third of the Hughes brothers, drafted 4th in 2021 by the New Jersey Devils. He's 6'2", 184 pounds. He's an offensive defenseman. Another burp. I should have preemptively apologized for the burping. Oh well. I should have also apologized for the bad breath, but you can't smell that, thankfully, because I had onions on my burger. I love onions on my burgers. Anyways, Luke Hughes has 31 points in 61 games. 8 of them are goals. That's great for a rookie. He plays over 20 minutes time on ice, well over 3 minutes on the power play. He leads all rookies in power play minutes, which is impressive. He's been a great puck mover for New Jersey, but I do think his time on ice wasn't part of the Devils' plan. I think that was more of not so much Luke Hughes being a great rookie more of Dougie Hamilton's injury. He was an incredible player last year, really integral to the Devils' play, and that injury, among other things, has hurt them. Which leads into a video I'm going to do after this about Lindy Ruff, because of the news from him today. And I think that's also why Simon Nemec has also had increased time on ice. Not to just diss Hughes or Nemec, they've done well. But that's for the next video. Anyways, back to Luke Hughes. Still impressive to see defensemen play over 20 minutes and be pretty good on it. The Devils control the puck very well while he's on the ice at 54% of the shots. Though I think that more has to do with Luke Hughes' offensive abilities, because you can increase your analytics. Fenwick 4 percentage is more used for defense to try to measure someone's defensive abilities. It can be increased by offense. That is the case for Luke Hughes, and that's fine. He's a rookie. He doesn't need to be a defensive defenseman. We knew he was going to be an offensive defenseman. As long as he can become okay on defense, great. And he is really good in one defensive area. He has 31 takeaways, which is a good amount for a forward, a great amount for a defenseman, and an incredible amount for a rookie defenseman. So he's not useless on defense. His stick isn't just for offense. He's very good at getting takeaways, but he's not a physical guy. Only 19 hits, only 35 blocks. 35 is the lowest number here besides another rookie, but that rookie only has 3 less blocks and played 17 less games. So those are the only knocks on him, but hey, he's still a great talent. I'd love to have him. I'm not going to knock him too much. Plus, I'm not in the NHL, so he's got that on me too. And probably you as well, I assume. If you're in the NHL, congratulations. Thanks for watching. Maybe spread the love a bit. Said, hey guys, look at the Settling the West show. Maybe NHL Network should hire him or something. Maybe you don't like my videos, whatever. Next, there's the cough that I've been talking about. Pavel Mintyukov. Anaheim's defense has gotten notably better. A lot of that has to do with signing the Czech defenseman Gudis, and part of that has to do with Mintyukov and another defenseman I put here. The Anaheim defense is still bottom 5 in the league, yeah, but it's gotten better because of young talent like Mintyukov. He was drafted 10th overall in 2022. Talked about him previously on a video about David Jirasek, which I will put in a card at some point. Maybe I put it early or late. I don't know. I'm not too smart with these things, but I know my hockey, so I'll stick with hockey. Mintyukov is a decently sized defenseman, just under 200 pounds, 6'1". He's got 24 points in 50 games, which includes 3 goals and only 18 penalty minutes. He plays second pairing minutes with Anaheim, as well as a quarterbacking role. Analytics are good, notably good for an Anaheim Ducks defenseman. He's also been physical, 68 hits and 51 blocks, and 12 takeaways is pretty good for a defenseman, especially a rookie defenseman. Next is Ty Emberson, kind of a steal by San Jose. He was drafted by Arizona in 2018 in the 3rd round, and then he was with the Rangers, who waived him and picked up by San Jose. Desperate for somebody to be good on defense. I mean, I like Mario Ferraro, but desperate for help. It's rookie Ty Emberson who has helped. Not enough. San Jose's defense is still league worst, but that's not Emberson's fault, and he's certainly helped. As a rookie, he's taken on a big role defensively. He's while also producing on offense and being well disciplined. He's got 10 points in 30 games and only 6 penalty minutes, despite being one of the more physical and defensive defensemen here. He's managed to keep his penalty minutes quite low. He doesn't get a lot of power play time and negligible power play time, but he does get a minute of shorthanded time a game. Analytics are 43.3% of the shots being controlled by your team is pretty bad, but that's kind of standard for the Sharks, so I'm not going to say that's bad for Ty Emberson, especially as a rookie, as I keep saying. He's over a hit per game at 46 hits in 30 games. 94 blocks in 30 games. That's over 3 blocks a game. So really, really awesome blocker from Ty Emerson, despite not being 6'7". He's 6'1", 195 pounds. So he's been really awesome for San Jose. As awesome as you can be for San Jose. But good on him. Good on San Jose for picking him up. He should develop into a pretty good defensive defenseman and one of the better blockers in the league. And San Jose already has that with Mario Ferraro. Next is Simon Nemec, the other New Jersey Devil whose time on ice has developed, or not developed, has improved with Dougie Hamilton's injury. Not saying Nemec was happy that Hamilton got injured. I think the entire Devils team would like to have Dougie Hamilton back, especially Lindy Ruff and the goalies. But Simon Nemec, who we're talking about, the Slovakian, 6'1", 190 pounds. Only 2 goals in 40 games, but he does have 16 points. He's a rookie defenseman. I'm not going to say, he only has 2 goals. Cody Ceci has 2 goals, but Cody Ceci is a different kind of player. Simon Nemec plays almost 20 minutes a game, over a minute on the power play, and almost a minute shorthanded, so he does get decent time in all areas. Analytics are quite good at 52.8% Fenwick 4, and he's been a good blocker at 67 blocks. Not a lot of hits, though, 13 and 9 takeaways. Next is another American defenseman and another Anaheim defenseman who has helped. It's Lacombe, 6'2", 205 pounds. I forgot Nemec was drafted. I forgot to mention, stumbling on my words, I forgot to mention that Nemec was second overall pick by New Jersey in 2022. Now back to Lacombe, he was the 39th overall pick in 2019 by Anaheim. The larger defenseman is at 12 points in 53 games, which is decent for a defensive defenseman who is a rookie. He's another solid blocker. He has the most shorthanded time on ice here besides Brock Faber. No shame in losing out to Brock Faber among the rookie class. Lacombe plays nearly 20 minutes of ice time. Almost a minute, 43 seconds, but he does play 2 minutes and 23 minutes on 22 minutes and 23 seconds on the shorthanded time. Analytics aren't nice to him. 43.8% of the shots are controlled by Anaheim while he's on the ice. That's good for minus 3.5 relative. So not nice, but some defensemen are like that, where their analytics aren't so good, but that's because they're busy helping their goalie make saves, and part of that comes from being a good hitter, and more of that comes from having 98 blocks. I accidentally said that Emerson had the most blocks besides Brock Faber, and 94 blocks is very impressive, and is at a higher rate than Lacombe's blocks, but for now, Lacombe has more blocks, 98 blocks in 53 games. Really nice. Blocks can be overrated because it's not as good as taking away the puck. Taking away the puck is better than getting a block. Blocks are still a good metric, and it is a way of showing that not only are they blocking the puck, but that they are in the good enough position to block shot lanes. And I'm a goalie. I appreciate it when my defenders block. But Lacombe isn't just a blocker. He's quite good at getting takeaways. You don't usually see a lot of defensemen be able to hit, block. Well, a lot of defensemen are able to hit and block, but usually means they're not getting as many takeaways, like Brock Faber. But Lacombe is. He's got 21 takeaways, which is a very respectable number for a defenseman and for a rookie defenseman. So he I wouldn't call him like super exciting, but he is, well, maybe he's super exciting in Anaheim's eyes. But for now, he's a rookie. He's not going to make Anaheim's defense not bottom 5 yet. It's been bottom 5 for a while. Next, the last American defenseman on here, Michael Kesselring. He was drafted by Edmonton, 164th overall in 2018, so wasn't expected to do much. Turned out to be a good draft pick. He was very good in Bakersfield with the Condors. That's Edmonton's AHL team. I liked him quite a bit, and then he was traded to Arizona last year, along with a pick for Nick Bjugstad. And I liked having Nick Bjugstad in Edmonton, but Nick Bjugstad left Edmonton, which we knew could have been happened because he was a rental, and then he signed back in Arizona. So that kind of hurts as an Edmonton fan, but I mentioned earlier that I actually like Arizona, so I'm glad that Arizona was the one who swindled us and not team I don't like. But anyways, let's talk about Michael Kesselring. He's been very good for Arizona's third pairing, and all credit to him, not only being a great AHLer, despite being 164th pick overall, but becoming an NHLer. He's a tall guy too, and an underrated pest, as one of my Calgary friends called him. He's 6'4", 190 pounds, and he's also been good with the puck. He's got 5 goals and 9 assists in 44 games, 45 penalty minutes, attesting to his pestiness. That's over 1 penalty minute per game. He plays, again, bottom pairing minutes, 14 minutes and 29 seconds. Not a lot of special team time. Analytics are quite nice to him. 53.2% of Arizona's 53.2% of the shots are Arizona's when Michael Kesselring is on the ice on even strength, which is good for plus 5.9 relative, which is quite a high number. Back to his pesky numbers, he's got 68 hits in 44 games. That's tied for the most hits among defensemen here with Mintyukov, who's played 6 more games. He's got the least amount of blocks among defensemen here, though that is probably because he's played 17 less games than Luke Hughes. Maybe Kesselring will pass Luke Hughes. Not a lot of takeaways, but again, he's not playing a lot of minutes, and he's a rookie defenseman. A rookie and a defenseman who don't get a lot of takeaways. So I think Michael Kesselring's been a really nice addition for Arizona. I'm happy that he's doing well for a team I like. He wouldn't have replaced anybody in Edmonton. It's just I know there will come a point where look at him and say, I wish we had him right now. But that's not yet, because Edmonton's defense is top 10. Remember that. We're top 10 finally for the first time since like 2006. Whatever. Anyway. I've done a video about that already. David Jurasek. He was the center of a video I did a while ago when he was benched by Columbus and sent down to the AHL. That's why his numbers are a bit lower here. You can go look at that video and I give my opinion on David Jurasek and how whether I think Columbus should have benched him or not. But let's focus on his numbers here. No, he's not being one of the best rookie defensemen here, but he still has done all right. Remember, he's a rookie defenseman on Columbus who doesn't really have much choice. Ivan Provorov's been much better than advertised, but he hasn't changed Columbus's defensive fortunes. Damon Stevenson's been all right, but he hasn't changed. Another burp, holy cow. Damon Stevenson hasn't changed Columbus's defensive fortune, so at that point, let Jurasek play. If he wants, let him play. Yeah, he's going to make mistakes. He's a rookie, but all your veteran defensemen are rookies. I guess you don't need to look at my Jurasek video. You already kind of got my opinion of it. Anyways, Jurasek has played 36 games, 9 points, 1 goal in those 36 games. He's a taller defenseman at 6'3", 189 pounds. Third pairing minutes, though he did prove to be quite well with Provorov at certain points. 20 penalty minutes, which is one of the higher numbers here, especially notable because he's played less games than almost everyone here. Not a lot of special teams minutes, which was part of his disgruntledness. He wanted to prove himself on the power play, and 9 points in 36 games as a third pairing. That's not bad at all, especially as a rookie defenseman, as I keep saying on every one of these rookie defensemen. Jurasek's analytics aren't notable, but they're not bad either. They're pretty par for the course for Columbus. He's been a decent hitter at 22 hits in 36 games and a good blocker, 39 blocks in 36 games and 8 takeaways. That's all right. Next and last is Kevin Korchinski. I once again neglected to mention Jurasek's draft position. He was 6th overall pick in 2022 by Columbus. Picked right after him was Kevin Korchinski, picked by Chicago that year. 6'1", 185 pounds. His numbers, you might want to say they could be better, but I think that more has to do with the fact that he's on the Chicago Blackhawks, and not that Kevin Korchinski isn't Bobby Orr. Maybe you can be mad at him for not being Bobby Orr. I wouldn't recommend it. That's a pretty dull life, I think. Whatever. Korchinski, despite being trusted on Chicago's power play, has been limited to 10 points in 55 games. But again, that entire offense runs through Connor Bedard. Korchinski has been one of the more disciplined defensemen at only 12 penalty minutes. He's not a physical defenseman. He's at 15 hits. But he does get blocks, 60 blocks, and he does get takeaways, 17. His analytics, again, as mentioned earlier, aren't nice to him. They're okay. He's a positive in terms of the relative Fenwick 4, 1.3. But that 44.8 Fenwick 4 percentage is pretty bad, but more a Chicago issue than a Kevin Korchinski issue. So now, final position, my favorite position, goalies. Goalies, you never know with goalies. One of these guys could be a Hall of Famer. One of these guys could burn out next year. That's why I love him. But the best goalie this year has been Joseph Woll. But let's go through the legend really quick. You can guess what it means by goalie, team, draft, size. We went through that. Record, so win-loss, and then extra time losses, goals against average, shutouts, saves per 60 minutes. This is their quality start percentage, so the amount of starts they have where their save percentage is above league average. Really bad start percentage, that's when their save percentage is below 850. How many starts that they start are below that number. Their save percentage in high danger situations, in medium danger situations, and low danger situations. Those final three come from NHL Edge, because I know some people have different metrics. It's also worth of note, some of these guys have been rookies multiple times, because rookie status is different and weird for goalies. I don't really understand it. But anyways, Joseph Woll, as mentioned, he was drafted in the third round in 2016, so quite a while ago, but again, goalie development is very different. He was drafted by the team he plays for, Toronto, 6'3". He's 9-5-1, so he hasn't played a lot of games, but it's been because of injury. 2.75 goals against average. Doesn't have a shutout yet, despite what Toronto fans may sound like. I think they're just more desperate for a goalie, which I understand. I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan. I get it. I can't say too much, though I can't say we have Stuart Skinner, but I can't say too much. He is saving over 30 saves a game, which is awesome. Very impressive. He's been consistent. Lots of quality starts. 5-5-0 is good. But he's also had very few bad starts. He's only had one, quote-unquote, really bad start in his games, so very impressive by him. He's got the best save percentage of the goalies listed here at 918. 837 is also one of the better high danger save percentages, and he's been very good in medium danger as well. Low danger save percentage is 950, which is actually quite low, so maybe that's of concern that he's not making saves when a guy is shooting from the blue line, relatively speaking, but not a huge concern. Next, Joel Hofer. One of the reasons St. Louis was able to move Husso, and one of the reasons Binnington hasn't needed to start every single game is because of Joel Hofer. He was drafted 107th overall in 2018 by St. Louis. That's the fourth round. He's 10-10, 2.88 goals against average, 1 shutout, 29 saves per 60 minutes. He's hasn't been super consistent, but he hasn't been inconsistent relative to goalies. All goalies are inconsistent. Though my upload schedule has been consistent, which is a surprise to me. And then he's been saving quite a bit. 910 save percentage, quite good for a goalie in this year, and quite good for a rookie goalie. High danger save percentage is at 800, which is a little low, but he's young. High danger save percentage usually goes up based on talent and your ability to read the game and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to knock it on him. Again, he's a rookie. All these guys, if they have a bad number, I'm not going to say you suck. They're rookies. Very high low danger save percentage though. Next is one of my favorite goalies right now, because I love choosing goalies based on their mentality. And I love this guy's mentality. As soon as he lipped off Brad Marchand in the playoffs, it's Pyotr Kochetkov, the Russian from playing for the Hurricanes. He was drafted in the second round in 2019. He's 6'3", and he's got a 16-11-3 record, allowing 2.41 goals average. 3 shutouts, which leads rookies, tied the next goalie for the lead, doesn't have to make a lot of saves per game. He plays for Carolina 24.2, so you can say, well, he's not getting a heavy workload. But he did just have like a 40 save performance like last week, so he's got it in him. That is a stat I want to track, but I'll have to do that next year. He has not been consistent until recently. His 9-10 save percentage is quite good, but it started out pretty bad, which was the case for all Carolina goalies. So thank goodness for Carolina that Kochetkov has turned it around. I'm glad he did. I love his mentality. That's one of the ways I judge goalies. That's a different video. But his inconsistency is noted in that he has one of the higher really bad start percentages at 0.2. So every fifth game is a really bad start. His analytics from NHL Edge aren't like super bad, super good. They're there. Good high danger save percentage, good medium danger save percentage. Low danger save percentage could be higher, but it's not bad. Next is Samuel Ersson. He's in Square! I'm back. It's Isaac from the future. Isaac from the past didn't get to finish the video, so we're going to continue from where he left off, which was Samuel Ersson. He's another rookie goaltender who who is being relied upon more due to issues with the previous starting goalies. In Ersson's case, it's legal issues for the other starting goalie. As a result, he's played the most of any rookie goalie and has won the most. He's 17, 12, and 4. He was drafted back in 2018, 143rd overall by Philadelphia, and it's proved to be a good draft pick as he, again, has been needed quite a bit, and he leads all rookie goaltenders in shutouts with 3. That's tied with Pyotr Kochetkov. He also has one of the lower workloads per game. He makes just under 23 saves per game, which is very low. He has been consistent, which is helped by the fact he doesn't have to make 30 saves a game. But his save percentage, despite that, has been below 900. So there is Philadelphia would need him to do more, but at the same time, they can't really ask him to do more because he's still a young goalie. His high danger save percentage is decent. I didn't lie. Past Isaac lied when he said that Pyotr Kochetkov's medium danger save percentage was okay. It's actually not up there. It could be better. Ersson's is also low. It's the lowest one here besides Caden Primo. But his low danger save percentage is good enough. So his value comes from the fact that he has been relied upon more than these other goalies, and he deserves credit for that. He's been credited with 33 games so far. All these stats are from Monday morning, because past Isaac was lazy and procrastinating and didn't get to finish the video, and so now it's up to me, future Isaac, who's always better. Next is Lucas Dostal. He was a third-round pick in 2018 by Anaheim. The Czech stands at 6'2" and has not received a lot of help from the defense in front of him. He's 9-16-1, and he allows quite a bit of goals, 3.61 goals per game. No shutouts, but it's not all his fault. He has been admirable. He makes 33 saves per 60 minutes, which is quite a ton. Not a lot of high danger saves. He's below 800, but he has managed to maintain a 902 save percentage despite his heavy workload. He is inconsistent, but I think that more has to do with the team in front of him rather than his ability. He doesn't have a lot of really bad starts, but he doesn't have a lot of quality starts either. Only half of his games are considered quality starts. He does have quite a high medium danger save percentage. It's 902. Low danger save percentage could be better. But again, I think we'll have to see how he does with a not such a incredibly high workload that John Gibson's been dealing with for years. Next is Caden Primo, one of the later picks on here. I think he's the latest pick here, besides Devin Levi. He was picked 199th by Montreal in 2017. He's also at 6'3" and is the heaviest goalie here at 207 pounds. He's got a 5-6-2 record, which is pretty standard for Montreal. He allows just over 3 goals a game, which is quite average. He has a shutout to his name this year and makes almost 28 saves a game. He has been quite inconsistent. Below half of his games are considered quality, but he's also only had one really bad start, according to the stats, and has maintained a save percentage above 900. He's got talent, and he's should be good. He has a really high danger save percentage at 828, but a really low medium danger save percentage at 848. Low danger save percentage is all right at 966. Next, I will confirm with Past Isaac that we're going to talk about another Columbus rookie. That's Danil Tarasov out of Russia. Tallest goalie here. Will tie with Hofer at 6'5", but he's heavier than Hofer at 196 pounds. He was drafted in the 3rd round by Columbus in 2017. He's 4-8-2, allows quite a bit of goals. He hasn't really been very good, but as I said with some other goalies, we'll see if he's able to improve if the team in front of him improves, because the defense hasn't been very nice to him. He's making 29 saves a game, which is just above average, while allowing closer to 4 goals than 3 goals per game at 3.62. He has quite a fair share of really bad starts, the highest rate here besides Nico Dawes, and one of the second lowest rate here of quality starts at only 4.29. That's really low. His save percentage is 888, and his analytics via NHL Edge aren't impressive, besides his 990 low danger save percentage. So he hasn't been able to save Columbus from themselves, and that's not really his fault, but everyone, including himself, will want him to be better, and maybe he will. Goalies are, as I keep saying, and as everyone keeps saying, because it should be known, they're unpredictable. Tarasov could blow up next year. Maybe he goes to a team with a good defensive structure, and he becomes a 930 save percentage. We don't know. Next is Devin Levi. A lot of people pretended to know about him. I was always skeptical of him, but I understood the hype. He was drafted very late by Florida in 2020 and now plays for Buffalo. He had a decent year last year. He's a very likable guy. He's a smaller goalie at 6 feet tall, but he's more athletic. So he has the talent behind him. I do like him. When I said I was skeptical, it's not me hating on him. It's just I felt a lot of the hype came from his performance in World Juniors, and goalie performances in World Juniors are very hard to gauge. They're very hard to translate into the NHL. They're more of a sign of what they can do rather than what they will do. Excuse me. And that's especially the case for Canadian goalies. Excuse me again. I'm burping just like Past Isaac. So I do think Devin Levi will be good, and he deserves all the credit in the world for not only getting to the NHL, not only getting drafted, but being drafted very low and still working his way into the Major League. So far, he does have a winning record with Buffalo. He's 9-7-2, but it's not all him. He has not had a lot of quality starts. He's been very inconsistent, as you can see by his low quality start percentage, the lowest here, and the 3rd highest really bad start percentage, and his save percentage is 891. So there's a lot that's going to be wanted more from him, but I think he'll be fine. I don't think he'll take over a starting role anytime soon. Again, you never know with goalies. Fortunately for Buffalo, UPL, Ukko-Pekka Lekkonen, UPL. We'll just go with UPL. UPL has stepped up this year. Next is Nico Dawes, yet another goalie that their team hoped would step up. He was a higher draft pick. The German was drafted in the 3rd round by his team, the New Jersey Devils, in 2020. He's a taller guy at 6'4", 205 pounds. His record is 8-10, which isn't so good for a team trying to be in the playoffs. He allows well over 3 goals per game at 3.47, and he doesn't make a lot of saves, 27 saves per game. I remember somebody trying to tell me that he was good, and I'm like, well, I mean, I don't want to say any goal is bad because you never know, but he hasn't been putting up those numbers. His quality start percentage is the 3rd lowest here and is below. Oh, I keep saying 3rd lowest because I haven't even looked at Arvid Soderblom, so that's really low. We'll get there. He's next. He's the last one. So Nico Dawes, very low quality start percentage. The highest really bad start percentage here at .333. That's extremely ugly, and inexcusable, frankly, when you've played 18 or has been credited with 18 games. I didn't write down how many games he's actually played, but maybe if you've played 3 games and one of them is really bad, okay, we understand why your really bad start percentage is at 333. But when he's played close to 20 games, that's at that point is inexcusable. New Jersey's defense has taken a lot of hits, as past Isaac talked about, but it's not that bad. So he hasn't been the guy. His high danger save percentage is quite low at 768. At least his medium danger save percentage is over 900. But he doesn't save as many shots from the blue line as he should either. Next is, and last is Arvid Soderblom. He's the only rookie we're going to talk about who's undrafted. So good on him for getting into the league undrafted, even if it is with a Chicago Blackhawks team. The rookie is 6'3" out of Sweden. He has a lot of very ugly stats, but I'm going to be a little nice to him because I think there is some hope there. He's had some good games, but let's start with his record. It's the ugliest record here, one of the ugliest records in the league. And again, that probably has more to do with Chicago than him. He's 2-18-1. Last year he played and he had 2 wins in like half as many games as he does now. So he's tied his career high at 2. Will he get to 3? I don't know, and it's not always up to him. He has one of the highest goals against average is in the league. Nearly 4, 3.97. Does not have a shout out to his name. Though he's had some good starts. He's had some notable games, but that was earlier in the season. Doesn't save his saves per game is pretty average. His quality start percentage is extremely low, 0.381. That's not excusable no matter what kind of team is in front of you. But it is impressive that he's kept his really bad start percentage below 0.2, barely at 0.19. If he had any chance of being good at the earlier in the season, which he looked like, it's all gone. Again, he's a younger goalie who's playing behind a team where that just isn't up to snuff for a lot of other teams. And even if they were, they're all injured. Taylor Hall's injured. Bedard was injured for a while. Lots of guys are getting injured. His save percentage is 8.75, which was excusable 40, 50 years ago. But not anymore. His high danger save percentage is also the lowest here, 7.58. Medium danger save percentage isn't that bad. Neither is his low danger save percentage, but he's not making big saves when he's needed to as much as other goalies. And Chicago allows a lot of high danger shots. So again, with any of these goalies that I sounded like I was harping on, I mean I was, but I acknowledge that goalies are weird because I'm one of them, and they could blow up next year. Maybe if Soderblom had a better team with better defense, he would have increased confidence and wouldn't need to be protected all the time. I'm not saying you have to have good defense to be a good goalie, but if you're a young guy, you need all the confidence you can get. I mean, and that helps a ton when you have a strong defense in front of you. And a lot of these guys you mentioned, particularly Soderblom and Dostal, don't have that. So that's the rookie roundup I had to finish for past Isaac. I'll punish him later. For now, that's the rest of the video. I will see you tonight for the Oilers review, unless future Isaac, which is no longer me, I'm now past Isaac. If future Isaac also procrastinates, then we'll have to put up with him too. Anyways, that's as I said, that's it. I hope you like this video, and I hope you actively like it on YouTube. Please leave your thoughts, who you're impressed by, what rookie you're impressed by the most. It doesn't have to be Bedard, and you can say if you're impressed most by Bedard. That's totally fine. A lot of people are, including me, and I think everybody kind of should be. It's just more of we expect it to be impressed, so it's kind of weird. Also, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe and turn on notifications as well. It means you get to see more of me, which I think is a good thing. I look in my mirror and I say, hey, how's it going? Why aren't you dating? Anyways, that's it for now. I'll see you when I see you.